Good morning. Welcome in SimWorld today, June 7th, a big night. Last night in hoops. We're getting to it all. Celtics game one win at home in game one of the SWBA finals. An upset of the defending champions in SimWorld Prep. I'm Marsh, joined this Friday morning by Rick Blaze. Good morning, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing fantastically well, Marsh. It is Friday. A lot has happened last night, and we are still here. Can you believe that?
I can believe that actually. Not shocked by that one, but let's head to where there's some activity going on. Game one, SWBA Finals. The Celtics took care of business, Rick, in a pretty uncompetitive game one on their home floor. They won the first quarter by 17. They rolled late in that quarter. They won the game 107-89. What's your takeaway from a blowout game one with some pretty rough shooting for the Mavericks?
My take was this: the Celtics held court. That's all. They won one game. It's one game. It's a blowout game. Cool. It happens. We're in the finals. It's the best of four games, so one game doesn't make or break. They did what they had to do. If you're the Dallas Mavericks, we're gonna just burn the film, burn the tape. There's nothing to watch here. Let's act like this didn't even happen because we know this is not how our team plays on a normal, regular basis. This is the finals. There's no putting your head down. You are the best two teams in the league according to what you've done. It's one game. We keep it moving.
I think we've done this a lot after games in which there's a big blow. What is the abnormality? And the abnormality was the Mavericks could not hit a three. They shot 20 something percent from deep, and Kyrie Irving was atrocious. Six
Yeah.
for 19 last night. He didn't hit a single three pointer. He had only two assists. He was not good. What do you expect to happen among those? Is I would not expect a repeat of Kyrie Irving playing that poorly against the Boston Celtics. I thought that he had good looks. His three-pointers were wide open. It wasn't as if all of his shots were of the contested, highly unmakeable variety. In fact, I think his six makes were of the very unmakeable variety, and he made them. I think that you're going to see a regression to the mean, especially with shooters. This is not it. And Dallas came back in that third quarter, got within eight. Luka got rolling. I think they still got a very good shot in this game. What they're going to have to figure out is how do they defend Kristaps Porzingis. And if they can't figure that out, I'm not really. Jason Tatum was not anything. I mean, we want to talk about this guy being top six in the league. Guy didn't show up at all in a blowout win, and you can make the argument, well, they didn't need him. I don't give a dang. This guy was a no-show. Jaylen Brown looked like the better player, Rick. I mean, Jaylen Brown looked like, and I'm not a big fan of whose team is it, but Jason Tatum was just consistently reserved and not aggressive, not what you'd expect from a quote-unquote star in game one of the SWBA Finals.
I mean, the fact that you alluded to the Dallas Mavericks have to figure out how to hold Porzingis tells you everything you need to know. Um, I, you know, I'm probably not as down as some people are on Tatum. I'm not as high as those who like him as much. I'm somewhere in the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the actual talent of Tatum is somewhere in between the hype and the hate. He's somewhere in that middle for real. He's comfortably placed in that middle. But again, with the Boston Celtics team, I always hold reservation on how great they're playing because I've seen them implode like no other before, year in and year out.
Yeah, they've they've outkicked their coverage for the last 4 years. And it started with that 2018, I think, the conference finals where they lost to LeBron without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward. But I'm with you. I don't think that Jason Tatum is a bum. I don't think he's top five, but I think that this was an opportunity for him to showcase a little bit more. And Jaylen Brown looked like the one that wanted to grab the bull by the horns and go for a ride. Jason Tatum looked like he was just kind of ready to see what happens along the way. But this is going to be a long. I don't think the series is over in five. I don't think it's over in four. I still think that at the very least this thing goes six. And I think if you're walking out of that, if you're Dallas Mavericks and you're saying what can we take as positives, you take that Luka was fantastic. I thought PJ Washington played really well as well. He was active on the boards. He was an active attacking the glass. I think if you can get him rolling a little bit, you can still put this piece together. In your opinion, what does Dallas need to do in order to get back to this thing with Game 2 on Sunday?
When you lose a game like that, you know that's not your game as a team. So Luca playing well. I think everyone else needs to play their game. The shots that Kyrie missed, if he makes those, we're having a different conversation, right?
Hmm.
So if you're Dallas, you just need to play your game. Do what got you here, and no need to rewrite the books in the NBA Finals. Do what got you here. Trust the process.
Let's head to SimWorld Prep, where our first game of the night was a doozy. Run DMV gets a 71-63 win. Keith Singleton looked fantastic. 29 points, the only Run DMV player in double figures. And Run DMV, a team known for shooting threes, pulls this huge upset despite making just 3 of them, none of them from Cam Jones, who went 0 of 3. And all of that spurred some interesting comments initially after Coach Drayton. The first response he has to questioning about the involvement of star player 11 Color was, all I can do is call plays for my guys. I can't make them run them. I called his number several times. He wasn't aggressive. Your takeaways on all that, Rick?
Well, it was the perfect storm against Beast of the East. Did we have Run DMV? We said there was a way for Run DMV to win this thing, which was shoot lights out. And I mean, they kind of did that, but they kind of did. It was the perfect. I like the pace of the game. I mentioned this to Coach Drayton. I thought that Coach Drayton and B. Solis had a chance to always pull it out because the pace favored them the whole entire game. And although they were behind most of the game, I still believe the pace favored them. But hey, credit to Run DMV, man. Credit to the coach, Coach Banks. They got in there, they gutted out, and they just wanted to win more than the champs. Simple as that. The players wanted it more than the champs. Now about Coach Drayton saying about I don't know. I don't. Do you want your first answer to a question to mention your players? Probably not. But was it done in like a very malicious way? Did I feel offended? No, that not that either. So I think it's a little bit of cap. There's a little bit of cap in that, and then it's a little bit of all right. Everybody just relax. When you're frustrated when you lose, people say things. I can see people saying, "Hey, if you coach Dre, man, you can't. Your first answer shouldn't be about the players." I get it. Oh, you want to? I understand, but every coach has their own way of going it, and I'm sure the players wasn't offended. So much to do about nothing in my eyes.
Lot to unpack from what you said, so we'll start in chronological order. First off, I actually thought the pace did not favor Beast of the East. This was a Run DMV team that wanted to play up tempo. The best chance for this Beast of the East defense was to slow things down. And Run DMV, both off makes and misses, and makes and misses of their own, did not do that. They played up tempo. They did not want this game to be slow. We talked about the warning signs of Beasts of the East being able to lose this first round game was because their defense, despite being top 3 points against, allows teams to shoot pretty well for what you would expect a top defense to be. Both of those
This
in
is
the
true.
teens. Run
True.
DMV didn't even hit threes. They had 49% of their field goals because Keith Singleton was constantly blowing past Tyree Moy on the perimeter and getting to the paint. So this was going to be the recipe. You mentioned that Run DMV likes to shoot the lights out, and they didn't. They hit 3 of them. This is the concern that I had coming into this postseason. We said it on multiple platforms, and that came true. I mentioned the pace already. I thought Run DMV wants to run fast. They did a good job of that. As far as Coach Drayton's comments, to your point, you say things out of frustration. Well, what you say out of frustration is oftentimes your true self because that's the most
Hmm.
rawest of emotions. And for your first comment, I know he walked it back, and he walked it back by like not really walking it back. He said, "I take 100% of the blame," and then essentially said, "But I can't make the baskets." Listen to these coaches at the next level. And this is coming from Sir Development himself. It's all about, getting the guys in the right spots. And then the moment the guys don't be aggressive, it's well, I don't run the plays. Do you hear Coach Tyronn Lue saying that? Do you hear Coach Popovich, Joe Mazzulla, Eric Spoelstra, Steve Kerr saying, well, I don't run the plays. I just call them. And then Steph, if he doesn't shoot, that's not my fault. No, man. You fall on your damn sword, especially at the SimWorld prep level. And for that to be a cop-out of an answer right off the bat, I don't care what he said afterwards. You can walk it back all you want. But if I got on this show and said, Rick swore you'd all hell, and then finished off and said, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. What would you think is true, Rick? What would you think is true? The me saying it was a joke or what I said right off the bat? So for that to be the first thing out of his mouth, not, look, man, we didn't play well. I thought we had some good matchups. We just didn't really take advantage of it. Congrats to them. And then goes into something, okay. He doesn't even do that. There's no preface. It's just, I call the plays. I don't run them. I don't shoot the ball. That's his fault. Didn't love that as a guy that says he's all about pro development, Rick.
Ladies and gentlemen, Marshmallow's on his soapbox, and I'm not going to debate that. Good job, Marsh. Good point.
Let's move it along to tonight.
Nah, I'm just playing.
You want more? You want more? Let's hear it.
I'm just playing on what you said about taking it back and what. No, you missed the boat, Marsh. You missed the boat.
Joke right over there. Let's head to tonight, where we've got 4 more matchups, Rick. Any chance of an upset? Our games, again, starting at 6 p.m. Gotham 5, Philadelphia. Lone Star Basketball Club,
yes.
Gulf Coast. SimWorld AFCO, Oceana, Rainy Trace Bay Area. Let me get through those first. But you said yes, Gotham 5, Philadelphia. Was that where you got super excited?
No. I'm saying yes, there's a chance of a upset. The SimWorld Prep, hell, there's always a chance of upset. And I think the biggest upset for me, I'm going to go with the 2 and 7 seeds both games. I think the 2-7 seeds both matchups is my upset. I like Lone Star coming down the stretch the way they've been playing lately under the new coach. They look really good, and ironically, they look good by not featuring a heavy dose of King Arthur. It's been everyone else stepping up. The others have been stepping up and been doing very well. So I like that 7 seed taking down Gulf Coast. I think that's a matchup problem for Gulf Coast. And I like the 7 seed of Africa taking down Oceana. Oceana, Luffy, and Bochum are phenomenal players, and they can score a bunch. But in these playoffs, they have an allergic reaction to defense. They don't like to play it. They are allergic to defense, and that does not go well for you come tournament time. So I got Africa taking the upset, and I have Lone Star taking the upset as well.
So those are predictions, not even
predictions.
Those are the ones. Yeah. Wow. I thought you were going to say the other 7 seed upset was going to be Gotham 5. You're not as high on Gotham 5 in Philadelphia?
No. Illy is too silly for that. Philadelphia, now their defense isn't pretend. It's for real. And so is Monte Parsons. He's for real. I got Illy doing everything. I'd be shocked and appalled if they lose this game.
Appalled, man, you'd be taking that one personal. The only other matchup that we didn't mention there was just Rainy Trace Bay Area. Truthfully, I looked at this and I was not looking at the numbers, and I said, I think Bay Area could pull an upset here. And then I checked the numbers. Oh wait, never mind. There are 4 or 5 seats. That tells you about all you need to know about that game. Both teams could pull an upset depending on how you like it. Although Adonis Knight's been cooking. Lone Star's got the recipe. They've got the recipe if they're gonna win games. Not only are they hot, but they have a star player. And it's very, very hard to pull an upset when you don't have a star player on your roster. You look at last season, Kai Newby was phenomenal against Asia Pacific. Last night, Run DMV, Keith Singleton, we've seen him do that type of thing multiple times. So if Lone Star were to get a win, to me, it wouldn't be stunning because of the talent that they've got. And you mentioned it himself, King Arthur. All right, let's go to our SimWorld Prep wrap-up. Again, 4 games that we'll jump into. We'll tip things off where we did earlier. Run DMV, Beast of the East. We gave you the Keith Singleton stat line. How about Kyrie Brown? 13 points in 16 minutes off the bench. Losi Thomas, 11. Kasim Porter, 10 on 15 shots. And for all the hoopla around Cutler, 10 attempts last night.
Yeah, I mean, it was a perfect storm, man. Kasim Porter, I said he needed to have a big series. He didn't shoot well, but he had 10, 5, and 5. But no one shot well on the team. You have H-Town, my guys, against the Yacht Club, and the Yacht Club was Really good game. H-Town was in command, but like I've said before, like we've seen before, they let the game go late with some questionable rotations and benching by Coach Brown. If there was a hot seat, this guy is in fuego when it comes to the coaching position. I think he dropped the ball and he let his team down. The team didn't do very well at the end to close it out. Good job, Yacht Club.
You're saying that bad rotations out there? Europe, a laugher against SimWorld Latin America. Red Jointer did all he could, 8 of 12, but 24 from Ivan Suslov, 16 and 10 from, 16 and 10 from Ivan Suslov. Andrei Ivanov, 24, 9, 5, and 3 steals, and Europe steamrolls Latin America out of the first round.
Latin America had Europe looking like it was an all-Europe team. The Monsters versus the Zombie Stars, which was a really good game until the Monsters pulled away late. Bernard James did all he could, but too much Rocky Mountain. That was too much of a mountain for them to climb as Justin Bell, the step-back king, the jump shot, him and Dink goes crazy. Justin ices it with some nice vanilla frosting at the end.
Ooh,
for the win.
love that. Love a good vanilla frosting at the end. Yeah, cardiac kids in Rocky Mountain. If they're gonna be going deep, we're gonna be seeing a whole lot of those high scoring 80 to 80 type games. All right, that's our show. Another huge night on the SimWorld Prep docket. Again, kicks off at 6 p.m. Gotham 5, Philadelphia. We're running all the way through the 9 p.m. scheduled tip. Raining Trays, Bay Area Breakers. B-Ron will be holding down the fort in those first two. So if you are a B-Ron stan, I know you're out there. He's public favorite number one. B-Ron is on the mic. So he's going to be running that thing for you to tip things off. So we've already got some activity. We've already got more bedlam in SimWorld Prep than we got at SimWorld U's so-called basketball bedlam. So we're making up for it here on SimWorld Prep's Run to One. Continues tonight on SimWorld TV. That's our show. We're back on Monday recapping. We're going to have to recap 12 games of basketball. You are welcome. We will see you then.
Mm-hmm.
Rick, thanks for coming on. And this is
Yes.
SimWorld Today on SimWorld TV, the only place you can see the game, be the game.
Shout out to all my donut-shaped women. I love